last video on Project 252, I showed you how to change the pulley for the cutter wheel, how to put on the belt, how we rebuilt the bottom end of this deal. Let me turn this around so you can see. This is the completed side. So we rebuilt this. We built behind here the lock. Instead of nuts, we made a deal where we welded in there a piece of plate, tapped it. We repainted the cover, repainted everything there. Now we'll come across here. Now, some of you guys, there's a few other videos out there on how to adjust the belts. One guy's really good. I'm going to put a link to his page, like I said in the last video. Again, in this one, he's funny. He's very experienced at doing it, and he makes it very simple. But I need to show you something else. There's another video out there. No offense, but on the turn this around so you can see. There's another video out there that's really giving. Let me push this. I got it on dolly jack so I can push it around. How to replace this belt, all right? And what this belt does, this is the clutch. When it engages, this has got a magnet in it, and when you energizes it, locks from your engine, transfers the power to these two belts. That runs into the other belts that run your cutter wheel, okay? Now, this other video out there, God bless him, he didn't know, but he told you a hard way to do it. To change this belt that drives, this is your pump, your hydraulic pump. It's a very small pump. That runs all these controls. That runs your side to side, your up and down, okay? And it also runs the hydraulic unit that powers your wheels to go forward and back. All right, and so what he showed you to replace this belt was that you had to take these two nuts off, same way like the other pulley, pull the whole pulley off, put a new belt, and that's how you put it on. Sorry to blow your bubble, but you just didn't know. All right, you just see me press this in because I pre-loosened it. How you get that belt off. And some of you guys are wondering, hey, this looks different. I took it off for a reason. There's the big cutter shield that goes on there, right there. We repainted it too. Here's your inner shield. Very simple to remove. I removed it because it had some wears and it goes behind there. I'll put it all back together. At the end of this video, you'll see it together. All right. But I took it off so you could see better. To change this belt here. 1, 2. See how the slot weight? Follow my finger. 4, 3, and I'm sorry. 4. There's another one there. In order to get to them, 5/8 socket. This spring right here. Let's see if I got enough of my fingers to get this off. Maybe not. One-handed, I don't know. Got it off. Hey, just an FYI too. If you're having trouble accessing the top bolt up here to make this shield slide back and forth, some of yours may have an access panel back here. You can take those two bolts out and get a wrench in there to loosen the 5/8 back here, okay? I was able to get in there with the 1/2-inch drive, but you may have to use 3/8 on an extension to get it in there. All right, and to get the new belts around there, you'll have to do a little moving like this to get the belts around. We'll do that, but what I discovered, and I showed you before, you can see a clear look there. It looks like it was repaired before and their weld broke. And see how it's expanding. So let me put a screwdriver here and see. I don't like that. I'm not going to put it back together that way. So I'll grind it. I'll weld that. I'll clean it. I'll prime the spot. I'll tape off this area, and I'll respray that. Just that. All right, so I don't want to give this to somebody down the road and that simple failure causes fatigue down further down, and that holds your pump. I don't want it failing on them. So anyway, I'll take care of that before I change the belts here. And like I say, there'll be a video at the end that shows you more detail. The guy's very funny and all, how to really adjust these belts. I'm just showing you some stuff to look for. So on your machine, look for that. All right, and that's right here. Here's your clutch. And right here, that holds this pulley, this whole bracket. All right, so let me weld that up. I'll come back to you. Hey, just a little FYI. I've already re-welded that, dressed it, ground it. I'll paint it last. But hey, if you're having trouble getting this belt off, I took it off. One came off. I just took out 1, 2, and 3. The easy ones to get to. I left the other one, but it's loose up top that holds this. See, they're on sliders, like I told you. Took it off. That means that this pump assembly is very loose. You can get it. See how tight it is here? It looks like, oh, I can't get it out. All you do is move this around and kick it out. Your belt will come off when you put your other belt on. Remember, you have to unplug your harness, cut the zip tie. Now everything's ready to go over. That's just a little tip right there, okay? Listen, once again, these belts up here, they're the ones that come off your clutch. They come up to the top here and then cross over to your cutter belt over there. So these use 2 belts. These came from D&D Power Off-Road Belts. And you can go to, I'll put a link in the description, off-road belts. Like I said, these are typically on sale. I think with shipping, everything, $24. And now this morning, here's another deal I want you to be aware of, okay? When I took off the last one, excuse me, the belt looked fine when it was on there. I took it off just to double check. Everything looked fine until I discovered together, when it was on the pulley system, you couldn't see it, but when I took it off, I could tell the belt was dry, cracked, and almost broke through. This belt was about $7. Here it is, the Gates High Power 2, 826, and there it is, 1/2 inch by 28 inches. Very easy to adjust this belt. Like I was telling you earlier, there was a video and a guy showing you that you had to take off this pulley. Unfortunately, you don't. All right. Remember, once again, I'll go over this real quick. All these are on sliders. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't really see that one real well. There is an access port back here like I showed you, but you don't even have to use that. Use an extension, or see, these are wobbly extensions, or get one that has a universal flex. And when you take off that spring, undo the wire there, this will move. They'll move enough to where you can get into it. It's 5/8 or 5/8 bolts. Now, to make your adjustment for this belt, all right, I used the pry bar, and I went right back here. There's a hard piece of angle here. Just placed it here, kicked it out. While these were loose, it stretched it out, tightened it, bam, bam, you're all set. 4 bolts tight. Once again, I put a zip tie to keep the wire out of the way. This is very important. Put the zip tie back. Buy one, put one on. Put my spring back on, which holds the clutch. See, these are the dry belts from D&D. They're blue, pretty neat. They went on very, very simple. But remember, to get these belts on, you got to take that belt off and loosen this cartridge so you can get it over this. Very simple to do. And then it looks different because I put the guard back up after I painted it. And remember the adjustments. It's really simple, guys. You got 4, okay? This motor is on a sliding system, okay? This bolt here adjusts the motor back. To get it to come forward, you back it out. And there's another one of these. On this side is just 2. You got to loosen the, and you'll see the slide positions right there. You see back here, I don't know if you can see. Follow my finger, there's a slider back here. Okay, and there's motor slides on the ramp up here. And this one pushes the motor that way. So to loosen them, motor's got to go, the whole motor assembly's got to go that way to loosen it, to get the belt off. To go back on, you're pushing the motor back this way. It's not rocket science. You guys can do this. See, I repainted the shield. Now, we'll put the covers back on. I've already, before you put your covers on, with this open assembly, make sure nothing's in the way, make sure you got this wire zip tied again, test try it, turn the clutch on, test try everything, see what your tension is on this. Consult your manual for the proper tension. I don't want to give you the wrong specs. This one, once you kick back here, once it's tight, you're all good. All right, there's not a lot of, I should say, not a lot of torque or requirement on this, and you're worried so much about slipping. They do stretch, get old, but just by prying back here, you'll get the proper tension on that. This requires the right amount, so does the cutter wheel. You don't want to apply too much pressure on your bearings. So we'll put this together, and that's pretty simple, wasn't it? All right. So I'm sorry if some of my videos are a little bit long lately. It's because I want to cover everything, because somebody's going to say, hey, well, you didn't tell me about that, or you didn't tell me about that screw bolt behind there. Now remember, after you get it all adjusted, you got to tighten down your motor and tighten down this port here. Once everything's set to your proper adjustment, then you'll run these in and tighten them down to locks. All right, so it locks everything from moving again. There's one on the other side too. So I'll do all that. I'm going to put my covers. We'll show you everything assembled. Well, she's back together. As you can see, shields are on. Repainting them. I didn't paint this one. I just buffed it out a little bit. Took the back shield off. Remember in the video, you see it. It's all done. New bolts. Also, I found it was missing this angle bracket. Rather than call Vermeer, it's just I cut it out of angle iron stock. Actually, had a metal shipping container, add angle iron, cut it out of this stock, trimmed it down, drilled it, painted it. That's done. What's left to do on this? I gotta change all the fluids. Like I told you, I'll be doing another video, and making sure my RPM is set since I moved some stuff around. Oh, I found there's some missing screws on the engine. So I will be finding some oddball ones and trying to find and replace them with the original stuff. I got a guy that works on mowers. Maybe he has some leftover stuff. But I did want to show you one thing, okay? Even on the motor, on the shield covers, do you use a special carriage belt? It's nothing special about it. I went to my farm supply place. You can buy these by the pound. I bought these, and then the special thing about them is this. You know, when you run these machines, they're gonna vibrate, you're gonna lose stuff. And let me find it here. Okay, here they are. All right. So those used that. The nuts are supposed to be going on them are serrated nuts. You see those lines in the back? I've told you about them before. That's so you don't have to use a lock washer. All right, and they grab. When you tighten them up, they grab into here. So we put newer ones on there. We put new ones down here. And then also on the engine, that hold the engine, you can see they're green or whatever. They're grade 5s. And put them on there, put new ones on there, new lockers. I mean, I spent $2.50 for all the bolts. And I always buy spares. Like if I need 2 bolts, I'll buy 6. If I, you know, that way I got them, I put them in my parts thing to where one vibrates off. And like your Bandits, your ZTs, and these, you'll find on most of these machines, they use a standard fastener to where It's one size, runs on. It's very common on the seat. That same bolt that's up there is used here to hold the tray. So you can go to a bolt nut and bolt supplier and buy them by the box, or you can do like I do, buy them by the pound. So the drive system's done, belts are all done. Wheels updated to 900 series green teeth. What's left? Just the hydraulic fluid. We'll be changing it. And all the filters, the fuel filters, oil filters, change the oil. The hydraulic filter on this is, I'll give you a crossover number so you can go to a Napa and get it. So you don't have to use a Vermeer. You could tell this is a 2011 machine. That filter was changed in 14, and 15. So it's time. Also, we'll show you when to do it. We'll take apart that and clean it out too. There's a filter in there. It should be a steel filter. Anyway, God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging around, and let's see me going down the pike in a couple of weeks. So I'm also probably gonna, after it's all running and all, touch up the machine. I'll probably sand this off and paint this front cover here because I don't like the way it looks. It's not damaged or anything, it just looks like crap. All right, so I'll be going to a new home soon, but we got a couple more videos left on Project 252. Thanks, guys.